welcome back to my channel. My name is Tiffany, and in today's video I wanted to talk about my Copics. I'm sure most of you know these are alcohol-based markers, and I have a collection of 60 here. These are the refills, and these are the colors that I currently own. And I feel like I have a pretty good selection now of colors. Good for color by number books, good for blending, drawings, any type of coloring I want to do. I feel like I have a good variety of colors. And so today I thought I'd come on and just kind of talk to you about them. I've really been enjoying them a lot lately. I find myself reaching for these way more than my Ohuhu brush markers. And in this video, I'll tell you a little bit why. I also thought while I'm doing this video, I kind of made this color chart. I don't know if you can see it, with hexagon type shapes, and I've just drawn it out with pencil, so I'm going to be going over it with marker. I did this on a piece of like bullet journal paper. It actually came from my Happy Planner. I have a Happy Planner journal, and so it had the punches on here. I cut those off, and then I glued this to a piece of cardstock just to make it a little more rigid, so I can slide it in and out easily and be able to reference it whenever I need to. This has all my 60 colors on here. Now, if I get more colors, obviously I'm going to probably have to make a bigger another one or a bigger piece of paper, but for now I just wanted to see what my 60 colors look like on this hexagon chart. And so yeah, I think today what we'll do is I'll outline this and with some black marker, and we'll fill it in with my colors, and I'll talk a little bit about my markers as we go. So first up, I'm going to start with, oh, I got to outline it first. What am I doing? So yeah, I've really been enjoying these alcohol markers. I use them a lot in my colored pencils as a base for my pages, especially in my Amazon paper coloring books. I feel like they just have a really nice lay down, so you're not getting so much paper tooth come through, and then you can layer on top of it with your colored pencils, and it just acts as a really nice base to your coloring pages. Now, I got this idea to make a hexagon color chart off of Pinterest. I'll insert a picture of a screenshot I did of the artist that originally came up with this idea. And she has one that I believe you can download and print off for yourself, that has all of the Copic markers, the complete set. And I don't really actually see myself completing a full set. I realized in purchasing some of these markers that there are a lot of colors that look very, very similar. They might be a shade or two off, but I feel like I don't need that many colors. It's almost too overwhelming to have all the markers. Never say never, though. I very well could end up getting the full set eventually down the road. But the one thing I like about these markers is the fact that you can refill these. And so I have already purchased some of the refills. These markers are expensive. I think they're like $5.99 to $7.99 per marker. And then again, with the refills, that's like another $6.99. But you do get like 4 refills out of 4, maybe even 5 refills out of one refill tube. And so to me, it's worth it because I really love the style of the marker. I love, this is the Copic Sketch, and you've got a brush nib on one end and a bullet nib on the other. So this is probably my favorite style. It feels really good in the hand. You get the cap that shows you the color number and the color name, so it's easily, you can easily see it when you've got it lined up in your shelf. The other style that I have, which I got probably a couple years ago to try, are these Copic chows that have the number on the side, but the barrel is just round, so you can't really, when they're in the shelf, you can't see what the number is or what the color is. So I do have a little bit of a collection of these. This still has a brush nib on one side and a bullet nib on the other. And they are refillable. These are refillable just like the Copic Sketch. And I will say that the caps you can put on the end, which is kind of nice, whereas you can't do that with the Copic Sketch markers, just the Copic Chow. I believe they have another style of marker as well, which is the Copic, it's the original Copic, which I don't have any of those. And I believe those have a bullet nib and a chisel nib and no brush, but don't quote me on that. But yeah, so now I've started to collect these instead of the Copic chows. Copic chows are a little bit more budget friendly. I think they're a little cheaper, which is why I started out with them. I think I got this came from a set of skin tones that I got off of Amazon. I want to say like 2 or 3 years ago. And I just finally ran out of my Barley Beige, which is this one. Nope, Barley Beige right here. This was probably my favorite. And you know, I have been trying now to get the refill and I can't seem to get it at Michael's. I'm going to have to probably see if Blick has it in stock. But Barley Beige is a very popular color in Copics, and it's really good skin tone color. But yeah, so these are my skin tone set my very first set that I ever started out with are these Copic chows. And I use them all the time. So I knew then when I got the set that I would probably eventually get more. And every time I would go to Hobby Lobby, they had an end cap near the stamping section with more of these Copic chow markers. So I collected more of them. Is that all of them? Yep, this was the other set that I got. I thought I had even more than that, but I guess not. So this was the other set that I got while I was there with at Hobby Lobby with a coupon. And so yeah, this was nice to start out with. I got introduced to alcohol markers, and then I started going down the road of looking online on Amazon. Of course, that can be a huge rabbit hole to go down. And then I went on to get my Ohuhu markers, which these have been great. I love these as well. And then I went on to the Ohuhu brush markers, which I got really used to using the brush side, because when I was using the Copic chow, I still wasn't comfortable using the brush. And so then I got myself these and had so much fun with these, playing around with them, that I have several sets of these Ohuhu brush markers, which, you know, until they're used up, I'll definitely still be using them. They're a great marker. But because I can refill the Copics, I feel like, and I'm getting used to their color choices as well. Like, I really like the fact that you can choose exactly what color you want with the Copics, whereas with Ohuhu you kind of just get what you get in a set, and you can't really branch out from what they have available in the sets. So yeah, that's why I feel like the Copic is just a lot more versatile and maybe user-friendly, even though the price point is a little bit more expensive. It all depends on what you're using it for and how much you're using it. I started watching a few YouTubers that use just Copics, and I was able to see what colors I really liked by watching them color with them. Actually, I think they're stamping people. I'll leave a couple of links below of two of some of my favorite YouTube people that I like to watch that use Copics. So maybe if you're interested in seeing what other colors are out there, I would definitely recommend checking them out, because they show you what colors they're using while they use it, so you can see what the laydown is. Another useful tool that Copic has is that they have an app that you download for free. I'll put a screenshot in here of the app. You can keep track of all your colors. So every time you get a new color, you add it to your list, and it keeps track of the colors you have, as well as you can go on there and scroll through all the colors to see what other colors would complement the colors you already own. It's really a very cool app. So I find myself referencing it all the time. So I would definitely recommend downloading the app. Like I said, it's free, and it will keep track of all your markers that you do have, so that when you go to the craft supply store and you're like, oh my gosh, what markers do I have? Which ones I don't? You're not going to be buying duplicates, that type of thing. So it's a very handy little app. And oh yeah, I wanted to tell you about this case that I keep them in. So this case I got off of Amazon. I'll put the link in the description below, but it is really nice because it separates the colors for you. So I have all my earth tones and skin tones up here. I have all my warm tones, well, my reds, pinks, violets, and oranges over here. And then I have my greens and blues, my blue greens, some of my grays, my cool grays. I keep warm grays up here, my black, and then down here is where I keep my refills. So these are what my refills look like, and you can see the color inside of the tube, and it's a screw top, so you just unscrew it, and you've got this little nozzle, and you literally take out the end of, let me see, make sure I've got the right one. Yep, Y13. So you take out the end that has your chisel tip and use a tissue. That's what I use to grab onto it, so I'm not using my, so see, it comes right out very easily. You take the little ink and you literally just squeeze until you see the lines move down. Not sure if you can see that, but it moves the lines right down so you can see how much you're putting in. I usually just put in a couple lines full. I don't do a whole lot at a time because I don't want to overfill it and have it squirting out everywhere, but just enough to put some more ink in there. Screw this back on, put the tip back in, and lay them horizontally, and then they will yeah, be filled. So yeah, this little container holds everything that I have right now. Obviously, the more I get, the more I'll have to add, but you can stack more of these on top of each other, and with a little clip, so you can make cubes, you can make wide pieces. But yeah, this is how I've been storing them for now. And then I just kind of lean it next to me, and I've got all my colors where I need them. So that was another thing I wanted to talk to you guys about, was my storage. Let's see, what else can I say about these Copics? The brush nib is just by far the best brush nib that I have found. The Ohuhu is really good. Actually, I could show you the difference between an Ohuhu brush nib and a Copic. So the Ohuhu brush nib has a really fine point, which is nice, especially for doing like really detailed pages. especially like our George Tufexis pages. But this one also has a fairly good point to it. And I find that the ink in this doesn't bleed out all over the place like this one will on certain pages. I feel like the ink this way likes to really spread, whereas this will stay. The lighter the touch, the less ink comes out. I have had a few instances where I was just coloring along. Oh, Jesus. I was just coloring along. I should have known that was going to happen. And a whole pool of ink came out, and a subscriber told me about the fact that sometimes you have to open up the top as well as the bottom to let air flow through so that ink does not flow right out of the tip. So I've been trying to remember to do that with my new ones that I get. It doesn't seem to happen with pens that I've had for a long time. It's almost like fresh, brand new markers tend to do that more than my more used markers. Maybe just because there's so much ink in there. I don't know. But yeah, it's almost like there's this gap and all this ink comes running out of the pen. So yeah, I mean, like I said, I really do like the Ohuhu brush markers as well. They're great, budget-friendly start if you want to at least get a good collection going of colors. And then as those tend to dry up, then maybe replace it with a color from the Copic line that matches similar to it. I mean, once you start coloring, you realize the colors that you gravitate to the most, at least I do. And those were the color markers that were always being used up first. So I was like, that's when I started thinking about Copics. Like, maybe I should just get ones that I know I can refill, because I tend to use these colors the most in a lot of my pictures. So yeah, that is how I started my collection. And markers are great because it's fast coloring. You can get a page done in a really short amount of time. You can shade with them. You can overlap. You can do a gradient blending. I mean, there's just so much you can do with alcohol markers that once you get the hang of it, it's really a lot of fun to use. You can see why artists use them a lot. They pair, the other thing I think that's good about Copics is they pair so well with my Prismacolor pencils. You can always find a Prismacolor that matches a Copic. So that is really nice too. Copics are originally, I believe, from Japan. They have the website built into the app, but it's all in Japanese, so it's really hard to decipher and read. So I tend to just buy my Copics from either Dick Blick or Hobby Lobby or Michael's. I believe Amazon has some sets, but I don't need a big set. I just wanted to buy them one at a time. So now that I've got these all outlined here, I'll do that after. Now that I've got these all outlined, I'm going to go over it with the color that I wrote in pencil, and then once the color dries, I'm going to write over it with my Sharpie pen. The reason I use this Tombow Fudenoski pen was because the alcohol markers don't tend to bleed this out, which is really nice. The black doesn't bleed when the alcohol ink touches it. A Sharpie pen, however, this does bleed. So I'll wait till the ink is dried and then go over the top with the Sharpie for a more finer outline of each color. Okay, so first we're going to start with BV 4 zeros. 1, 2, 3, 4. So this is Pale Thistle. This is a very pretty light pale lilac-y color. And as I use my markers, I'm going to lay them over here so I know I've used them all. Next up is Blue Violet 01, which is Viola. That's a really pretty color. I tend to reach for a lot too. Now I wonder, sometimes with a plain marker you can lift up some of the color where probably should have done it when it first happened, but I kind of made a mistake, and so sometimes you can lift the color with a clear white 0 blender marker. I guess it's considered a blender marker. And this is an Ohuhu one that I have up. I just keep off to the side. We'll let that dry a little bit. V04, which is this one, and that's Lilac. Now these do come in sets of like 4 or 5 at Michael's, and with a coupon you can get like 20% off, I believe. So that's also another way to add to your collection, is do it in the groups of 5, because I believe per marker it's a little bit cheaper than buying it one marker at a time. Oh, V06, which is Violet. Oh, and this one goes right over the green really good, so at least I didn't have to worry about. This is a really dark color. Very pretty. Dark purple. B09, I believe. That's B06. Did I miss one? That's B17. B06. Maybe that was supposed to have been the 6th. Yeah, because I don't have a 9. I have a 6. Okay. Well, that's okay. We can just erase that and add in a 6. Okay. Make sure you guys are in screen here. This is like a pretty mauve color. And this B06 is Lavender. V17 is Amethyst. That is a pretty color as well. So see how there's several different shades of just a purple? And I feel like I have a nice collection. A light to a dark, and then there's different shades. RV10, this is a really light kind of pinky color. I love this color. This is called Pale Pink. And then RV63, Begonia. These two go really well together. This must be a popular color too, because I tried getting it at Michael's and the refill, and they were all out of stock. Here is Peony RV69. I should probably be putting that in there so that you guys can see it. And the reason I like to want to put it in this hexagon, I already have it swatched out in my swatch book in single rows of colors, but I wanted to put it on the hexagon because then you can see things near it that might go well with it. Like this one could go well with that, as well as these two. And like these could go all well together. So it's kind of nice to see them next to each other in groups, how they look. R43. Okay, so these are the two that look very, very similar. Had I known, I can't remember which one I had first. I might have had this one first. I would have never gotten light prawn. Because R43, gosh, I can't even spell that. I don't even know what that is, that big long word. But had I known they were going to be so close in color and shades, I would have not probably got them both. But on the app can be deceiving. The Copic app, they look like they're different shades, but on actual paper, I think they look very, very similar. So there's R22, which is light prawn. And this is R43. If anyone can pronounce that, have a go at it. Because I cannot pronounce it. Those R40. See how close they are? They're almost like the same value and shade. So value by meaning dark or light. They're like the same gradient. And then they're all very close. This one might be a little bit more peachy than that one, but not by much. And then this came out of this is called Peach. This is R32. And this came out of my skin tone set. So I've had this for a long time. And then look how close this one is to those two. At least this one seems to be a little bit lighter shade than the other two. But all three of those... I mean, this one and that one would have been perfect together. I really did not need to get the 22, but I have it. So that's what I mean. You'll find out as you look at the Copic colors. There are some that are so similar, very, very similar, that you really don't need all the colors. Okay, R29 is Lipstick Red. I kind of like some of these names they have too. R29, Lipstick Red. This is a very pretty red color. It's just so much fun to use that brush nib. Oh, I just love it. R46. These look kind of similar as well, these reds. There's a whole number system as well as letter system that if you go on to YouTube and look it up, it will explain it to you. Obviously the R means red, but then there's the numbers, which mean the shade and the value. One's for shade, one's for value. And so, yeah, if you go on and read all about that, that will explain where the numbers come from. But see how close those look? Again, I did not need both of those colors. Okay, so now we're getting into the yellow reds, and then the E's are up here. So E04. This color I was so excited to get because this reminds me of the Prismacolor. Oh, what color is it? It's one of my favorites too, and I can't even think of what color this reminds me of. Let me see. Now I gotta look it up. In my Prismacolors. Nectar. That's what it is. PC1092 Nectar. That's what that color reminds me of. And I use that a lot in my skin tones, which is why I wanted this color so bad. E04 Lipstick Neutral. And you know what? I hardly ever use it now, but I do like the color, and I'm so glad I have it in my collection. For when I do start doing more skin tones, I will use that more as like an outline, a shading. E93, let's see, 93? Oh wait, that's not supposed to be up there. That's supposed to go down here. I don't think I got that wrong. I think I might have E39. I think that's supposed to be leather. No, because I got E39 over there. Okay, let me see. I can be a little dyslexic sometimes, guys. I've got E97. I think I have too many. I think I have too many. E93? I don't have E93. E97. E29. E39. 18. E39. I don't know where I thought E93 should come from. E11. Yep. I have one too many spaces, people. So we're going to erase this one. I'm going to leave that blank. That will be for another. That'll be for another marker. Maybe that means I'm going to be getting another marker to put in there. Okay. Anyway, moving on. E00. Oh, let's see. Where is E00? Right here. Okay. So this is Cotton Pearl. And then this is E000, which is Pale Fruit Pink. I just realized I won't be able to fill in E11 because I don't have any. Barley Beige is completely dried up. Like, I can't get any juice out of it anymore. So we're not going to be filling that one in. That will be blank. E51. Oh yeah, this is a new color to me. I really like this color too. This is good for skin tone and hair and sand. I use this a lot in my beach scenes or anything that involves sand. Milky White. Let's see, E15. E18, E15. E15 is Dark Suntan. E18, which is Copper. That is a pretty brown color. I'm really happy with my brown selection. E34 is Toast. That's a good khaki color. Tan. I use that one a lot on like animals. For clothes, I'll use that on like khaki pants or jeans, khaki jeans. E19. Oh yeah, this one was a must-have because you know in all those, this is E19, which is redwood. You know in all those color by number books, they have a red brown. It's like, oh my gosh, my red brown and my ooh gets used up all the time, really fast. So I needed to find one in Copics, and I chose E19, and I really like it. It's a very pretty red brown. E39, which this one is leather. There's a couple more earth tones I want to get. E71 and E74, and I believe it's like cocoa. And they're different, they're kind of a cooler shade of brown, a cool tone to them, whereas these are more warm tones. So yeah, those I do still want. There's a few more that I want. E97, which is a deep orange. But actually, it says deep orange, but it's actually a pretty pale earth skin tone or earth tone. E29. Oh my gosh, you guys, I did have E93. Tea Rose. Oh my gosh, I am losing it. I didn't even see this one here. E93. I didn't make a mistake. I had the marker all along. I tell you people, sometimes I feel like I'm losing it. E93. All right, back to E29, which is burnt umber. This one and E18 are very, very close in colors. Those two are very similar. Which actually, to be honest, probably when this one runs out, I won't be replacing it because it's a Copic Chow, and I'll just replace this one because it's a Copic sketch. Okay, before I move on, I feel like I need to fill these in because I'm going to lose what colors are what here. So, let me take my Sharpie pen, and I'm going to just write over the numbers so I can see what they are. So you hold tight and I'll be right back with you. I'll speed this up and we'll get back to starting to swatch the rest of our colors. got it that far. Now we're going to continue on with YR61. YR61, which is spring orange. This is another pretty peach color. YR31, light reddish yellow. It's a pretty color too. YR12. Pumpkin yellow. YR15 and YR12 are really close in colors too. YR68. Nice deep orange. All right, before I move on, I'm going to go in and write them in now that these ones are dry. It's a good thing about alcohol ink is it dries really fast. Y06, I believe, is this one, which is just yellow. Nice bright yellow. Y13, which is lemon yellow. This is my lightest yellow that I have right now. I do want to get one more lighter yellow than that, like a really pale yellow. Y15. Y15 is cadmium yellow. It's just a little bit darker than the Y13. And then Y19 is Napoli yellow. Yeah, so that's a nice pretty gradient of yellows. Let me write those in. Y06. Y13, Y15, and Y19. All right, now we're getting into the yellow greens. So we want yellow green 6, which I think might be this one. Yeah, YG06, which is yellowish green. Kind of a bright. I noticed that the 0, whatever shade, and it says like 01, 06, 05, those are the brightest colors. And then as you go up the number system, like these are more muted colors, not so bright. So like the 40s, the 50s, the 60s all get a little bit more muted. And I believe, I'm not positive, but I believe they add a little bit of gray to each of those colors to make them more muted. Next up, YG13. Like they can still be a light shade, but just a more muted color of that shade, if that makes sense. Oh, I'm sorry. Y13 was chartreuse. YG17. Which is grass green. These two I use the most, the 13 and the 17. So I had to get refills of both of these markers. I use this a lot in my landscapes and in my color by numbers. YG67. Here's a really nice dark. This is called moss. So this is a nice dark green. The other thing too that I like about these is you can layer them up and they can get different colors. So if I layered, say, this green over that, or even like a, I don't know, maybe a pale, like a violet and a green, you mix them together, it would, well, probably make mud actually. You have to know your color wheel. But anyway, you can layer them up and change the tone and value just by layering them. All right, so before we head on, let's write these down. YG06, YG13, YG17, and YG67. 67. Then we've got YG41 down here. This is a really pale, like mint color. I really like this color too. G02, so now we're getting into just the greens instead of the yellow greens. Pretty green color. Reminds me of like an emerald. G09. Oh, I keep forgetting, which is Veronese green. G02 was spectrum green, and YG41 was pale cobalt green. Those are three very pretty colors to put together. And then I have a G28, which is ocean green. This is a nice dark green too, and it almost has a little bit of blue green to it, which is why I put it here on the end, because then we're going into the blue greens. To me, it just has a tint of bluish cool color to it, even though it's dark. Okay, before we head on, let's get those written in. So YG41, YG41, G02, that one was G09, I believe. Yeah, G09. And then this one is G28. G28. So I really like how these three are grouped together. I even like how these in a line look good together. These look good together. That's why I like putting them in this hexagon style. Even these three together look nice, look pretty. So you kind of see what's nearby. And I just literally just started putting in, as you can tell, I haven't really thought out every color, but I tried to put them in somewhat order next to each other. All right, BG11 is Moon White. Oh yeah, this is another one of my favorite blue greens to use. I use this one a lot. So I have a refill of this one. I believe I've already filled it once. Very pretty. My teals are probably my favorite colors to go to. Love my teal blue-green colors. BG15. Another really pretty teal color. BG18. This is a dark blue-green. Use these a lot in my ocean scenes for a gradient. Yep, background colors. Love these blue-green colors. Next up is BG72, which is like a lighter shade of this one, which is why I picked it. This is a more recent color as well. I wanted a little lighter shade of a muted. This one's called Ice Ocean. And B29. This is a very strong dark blue, but I thought I'd put it up here with my dark colors. Very pretty blue. Oh, and that was ultramarine. So I figured I'd stick it up there with my sea ocean colors. Okay, before I move on, let's put the numbers and letters in. BG11, BG15, BG18, BG72, and this was B29. B29. All right, coming down here, staying with my blue colors, but yet a nice lighter shade of blue next to my light blue-green. We're going to put in B00, another very popular color. Use this for skies and backgrounds. So I go through this color a lot. B00. B00, which is frost blue. Keep forgetting to put that there. Frost blue. Another light blue that I have that I use a lot. This is B41, which is powder blue. And I use this a lot in my clothing for blue jeans or sky color. This is kind of a sky blue. Have a refill for this one too because it's so popular. I use it so much. B45 is the next one. that I put right next to it. I blend and shade the two of these together quite frequently. That's B45, which is smoky blue. Next up, we'll do B37, which is Antwerp blue. So these three together I use quite a lot. Love those three together. And so see, I have two dark blues, but they're different shades of dark blues. So it's kind of nice to change them up in my color by number books. All right, before we move on, I'm going to write these in. So B41, B45, and B37. All right, we're getting down there, guys. Just got a few more to do. So B04 is Tahitian blue, which is a very pretty blue. They're all pretty. I keep saying that. They're all pretty colors. But this is a blue, B04. And then I happen to already have B05, like from a year or so ago, which is process blue. So you'll see B04 and B05 look very similar. There's a little bit of shade difference, but not much. So I think, again, once this blue has dried up, I don't know if I will be replacing it. I'll probably just keep my Copic sketch blue going. All right, so B04 and B05. B04 and B05. All right, so now we just have our grays and black left to do. So let's do a cool... So in my grays, now you all know we do use grays in our color by number books. So I wanted a nice blend of cools and warms. So I did a light cool gray and a medium cool gray. And then I did more of a medium warm gray with a dark warm gray. So I have a nice, I feel like in these four colors, I have a nice supply to work with. For what to reach for in my coloring books. Again, you don't need all the grays, just a few. I feel like I have way too many Ohuhu grays that I will never end up going through. Unless you're someone that really uses your grays a lot, then I would recommend buying more grays. But to be honest, I feel like this is the perfect... I mean, I could always get one more really light cool gray, and same thing with my warms, maybe a really light warm gray. So that's cool gray 2 and cool gray 5. Put them down here in the blues, and then over here with the warms, we're going to do W3, which is warm gray number 3. And a warm gray number 7. So yeah, I feel like those are like the perfect grays in my opinion. And then the last one we've got to do is number 100, which is black. And we always need to have a black alcohol marker on hand for those color by numbers. And I'll tell you, I end up using my black more often than not. So black is very handy to have on hand. And for the black one, I'm going to use my Jelly Roll number 8. Actually, no, I want my number 10. Number 10 has a little bit bigger nib to it. Sometimes I need to clean off the edge. And this is number 100. So you can see it on that black background. So really now all I need to get is my Barley Beige refilled, and then I'll have my whole swatch done. I still have room for other colors. I could get a lighter yellow. I could get another shade of brown, another couple shades of blue. I still have room to grow on here too, because I really don't need many more colors, just a few. And maybe another pink. I'd like to have maybe a couple more pink colors, like a really bright magenta. I feel like I don't really have a magenta. So yeah, there's a few more colors I'd like to get. I'm going to go ahead in and fill this in with my Sharpie pen, my nice little decoration here, and I'll see you at the end of the video. Thank you so much for watching my Copic video today. I'm going to go ahead and pick up my mess that I've made here. Please like and subscribe if you have not already. Leave me a comment below what you thought of the video, if you liked it, if you didn't like it, if you feel like going out and buying Copics now because of watching this video. I tell you, it's addicting. I love art supplies, and these art supplies are just so much fun to play around with. It's definitely an investment, something you might want to save up for. But other than that, yeah, I say go ahead and try it. It is a lot of fun to play around with these. And I don't consider myself really that much of an artist, but I just love collecting art supplies. So if you're like that, just like to collect art supplies, then I would suggest getting these just to even play around with. We all love coloring. We can all use more art supplies in our coloring books, so why not try them? All right, guys, I'll see you all in the next video. Bye-bye.